to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Stevenson, could you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Costin?
Here.
Councilmember Shoemaker?
Here.
Councilmember McDaniel? Councilmember Delavar? Councilmember Greenlee?
Here.
Councilmember Morris? Here. Councilmember Russell?
Here. Council members Delavar and McDaniel are traveling and asked to be excused.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to excuse the two missing council members. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Don't believe we'll even have amendments for the agenda since this is a special meeting. We had to declare the actual items for it. I do appreciate everybody making time on such short notice to be here. The first item that we have before us tonight is Agenda Bill 6210, which is the actual declaration of the emergency within City Hall. As you know from the communication that I sent to you yesterday, we've done continuous testing inside of the building, and so far those tests have only brought the numbers in the basement area down to 16 picocuries. One of those numbers was up as high as 27 on the initial testing, but that was in a closed-in area. Everything's pretty much been opened up at this point. You can see the amount of air that's flowing through now. In looking at what the possible testing may come back for, or come back with as far as results for the additional testing that we conducted this next week, and seeing what the changes were that we made Monday and Tuesday, and knowing that they only brought those levels down to a 16, I took into consideration where we've got staff now, what we're doing with staff, how we're affecting the flow of the public, everything else in there, let alone all the long-term things that could happen with this building. I know Jim and Trevor and a number of staff were trying to make sure and get some proposals into place for the long-term mitigation and the proper mitigation of the radon gases. One of the issues we were coming up against is trying to find enough certified radon mitigation specialists, as we were counseled by EPA and the Department of Health to do because of the public nature of this building. And we're just not finding them or finding them quickly enough in order to do some stuff. In addition, as you can see from the proposal that you've got, as detailed as it gets in order to try and do some apples to apples proposals, bids, everything else, we're going to be a long time out of getting that done and having somebody come in that truly understands radon, its effects, and how to mitigate it, and what this building is in order to get an RFP out, in order to get bids back. So taking all of that into account, and the continued questions from staff and the public and various other folks, I went ahead and took the measure of doing an emergency declaration on the building itself, which gets us to today. Really, that has two effects. Number one, it brings us together in order to discuss as a group some long-term solutions to it, and hopefully the long-term solution for it. And it also suspends the bidding requirements that we have for that type of work in order to get the work started now without letting a lot more time go by. So the two items that we have before us this afternoon, the first agenda bill is literally the ratification, if you would, by the council of my declaration of the emergency. And the second one is a ratification by the council of a contract for Cascade Radon to commence work on the building itself. With that, I know we've got, I've asked legal counsel to be here for any questions in regards to the declaration. Jim Dunn is here from Public Works, who has been the point person on most all of this. And then I believe we've got Steve from Cascade Radon here to answer any questions as well.
Should we go ahead and move this motion so we can discuss it?
However you'd like to do it.
I make a motion to pass this, oh yeah, by title only. Do we need to do that?
Yep.
Read the resolution by title only.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second to read the resolution by title only. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
A resolution ratifying the direct declaration of emergency of the mayor and authorizing and ratifying the city's contract with Cascade Radon, Inc.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we pass and post the resolution in the usual manner.
Second?
Got a motion and a second discussion.
Yes. Maybe I'm not seeing it. Is there a line drawn here wherever this will expire? Or do we have to make it expire, or?
The resolution
Yes.
for the emergency?
Yes.
Um,
'Cause I don't think that it's supposed to go perpetually. I mean,
No, Don, good question for you. My intent was only in this instance in this
That's the
building.
way I read it too. I didn't put anything in there that it would expire because it's by its terms specifically limited to this particular action.
Right. Is there, do we know kind of a time frame how long this process is going to take?
If all goes as planned, the intent would, if you ratify this evening, they will commence their work tomorrow morning. Estimated to be inside the building working until Wednesday of this next week. And then they'll do 2 to 4 days of additional testing, past the work that they've done to make sure that those levels are down. If the levels are down at that point, to a large part, other than buttoning up, cleaning up, that type of stuff will be done. And my intent would be to start moving staff back in on Monday if that be the case.
Okay. Can we put an end date of the last meeting in May? Or at least a revision to review it and see if we need to keep it going? I don't want to have something hanging out there that's, then we can.
No, and I don't think I don't anticipate any problem in doing that. My only concern, Councilman, is if for some reason, and the contract is somewhat open-ended as far as the scope of work, not
Right.
necessarily for the dollars, but for the scope of work of, here's what we're prepared to go in and do. If for some reason, everything we know about that building doesn't bring those down, we'll continue to do more things and more things and more things. I believe it's appropriate to put, I don't see any problem putting a sunset date in there, even if it's 2 weeks from now, because truly, the action that we're here for tonight
Yeah.
is really to enable me to sign the contracts outside of the normal bid process. Once that
Right.
contract is ratified, signed,
You're in the same position.
I don't care
you'd
what
be
you
if
do.
it was- Yeah, you're in the same position you would be if it was fully put out to bid.
correct?
I may be wrong, but you would certainly know better than I, but I think RCW actually puts a time limit on these.
Declaration of emergency. I didn't see one in the statute related to the bid process, or maybe in some other emergency situations, but the ones we specifically looked at were Title 39, and I didn't see anything in there. It did talk about emergency and about the mayor's ability to proceed, and then ratification by council within 2 weeks, so.
Yeah, and I didn't, frankly, I didn't even look at the RCWs. The only thing that I looked at were our city code to make sure that we were within the guidelines of our city code in this instance of declaring it, so.
If we were to sunset it at the 17th of May, that would give us 3 weeks.
I
That'd be
believe
fine?
you're fine. I believe
Okay.
if you sunsetted it this next Monday, we'd be fine.
Okay. Well, can I offer up amendment to sunset this on the 17th of May?
So when you say this, you mean
This emergency,
specifically?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The emergent, okay.
Yes.
Because I do see a number 36 of the contract, or the proposal does say it's valid for 30 days beginning at the date noted at the top of the contract.
In
So
order
that's-
for me to sign it.
Yeah,
Right,
for the sign,
April-
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be okay on that.